You know, let's not miss the one other thing which was very crucial. When the Prime Minister was speaking, look out for the placard that was placed over there which said Bharat. You know, now that is interesting. We don't know what's happening on the 18th of September for certain, but the fact that instead of saying India, the name tag now says Bharat, very significant.
I am told
yes.
That the possibility exists, that the Constitution Article 1, subsection 1 could become Bharat, that is India. So you're not replacing the name of the country, you're only changing the wording, which is India, that is Bharat as it exists today, which will require an amendment to Bharat, that is India.
But in Hindi, it
or
was
not
already,
do anything at all. Maybe they're just using
Hindi is
Bharat.
already Bharat first in India.
You see, because there has been this belief, and you know, over the years, various leaders have at times expressed the view, why don't you just change it to Bharat, that is India? That way, there is no confusion.
Ambassador Kaju
you see,
wants to
both
come
names
in on
will
this.
survive. We are joined by Ambassador Kaju. Let's introduce our guests. Ambassador Kaju, welcome. Ambassador Sajanar, welcome to the show, but go ahead.
Thank you.
Look, internationally, our personality is India. In the UN and in other multilateral fora, we are India. So you will have to officially, if you want to officially change your name, you will have to, in this fora, in these forums, you will have to tell them that henceforth we will be Bharat. That cannot be ducked. For example, in the UN hall, where are you seated? Alphabetical seating, you are seated
As India.
as India. So if you'll have to officially tell the UN that henceforth we will
That's
be
just
Bharat.
procedure. If they do it, they can tell the UN that we are
of course,
Bharat.
But if I
of
call
course
it
you
Bharat,
can.
that is India, both the names remain.
Look, today the position is that the English text is India, that is Bharat. After the 58th constitutional amendment, the Hindi text is also authoritative, and that is Bharat Arthat India.
Yes.
So in usage, when you use Hindi, you say Bharat. When you use English, you say India.
So you don't need any change at all.
No, but internationally,
You'll have to take that call.
you'll have to take that call and inform them. It
Do
can
you
be
find
done.
this interesting, Mr. Sajanar, the fact that he's got Bharat written over there in front of his person?
Yeah, but you know, at the present moment, of course, you can use either of the two.
Sure.
You can use India, you can use Bharat, and that is in our domestic context. But of course, you know, as we have seen that this sort of a debate has emerged in India, that the United Nations has also decided to sort of, you know, come in and say that, you know, if India wants to change its name, then they need to come to us and we would be willing to look at it.
And it's happened in the past. Ceylon became Sri Lanka, Burma became Myanmar, so it's not unprecedented in that sense.
No, of course it's not. You can do it. It's perfectly open to you to do it. But you will have to go out
Sure, of course.
and tell the people,
It
tell
has
the
to be
world.
a conscious call.
Conscious call. And for example, today in letters of credence, if you see, there's the emblem, the Ashok lions, and under that it's always written Rashtrapati Bharat Ganrajya. Under that, it's President Republic of India.
But
so you'll have to take that call.
No, do you need to change Article 1, subsection 1?
I
Because the
think
moment, if you need to change
no-
that, you need a 2/3 majority,
Look,
constitutional
look, I'm
amendment,
not-
it becomes complicated. That becomes complicated. Bharat, that is India, as changed in Article 1:1. But if you are saying what you are, that you can do it without needing to change the constitution,
I'm not-
simply inform the world that we will now be called Bharat in world fora, you can do that presumably without changing the constitution.
I'm no legal expert, so I can't give you an authoritative answer to that. But as a former diplomat, Ashok's greater wisdom I'll bow to, but as a former diplomat, it's open to you because they are not interested. The world is not interested in your constitution.
Right.
The world is interested in what you officially,
Tell
as
them.
a government, inform them that henceforth my name,
Because
our name
as
is
of now,
this.
correct me if I'm wrong, we have not informed the world that we have changed any name. So when on this forum, the word Bharat is written, as Rahul pointed out, is that informing the world or is that not enough to inform
but I
the
think
world?
both the
Not
names are
formally.
allowed to be used in the constitution. You
So
can
it's
say
for you
Bharat
to
and
decide.
India, both.
So I could do India at the UN and Bharat here.
I have, if permit me.
Yes.
If you, And again, this is a legal thing, I can't claim expertise, but my own instinct tells me that if you are, in the English text, you are saying India, that is Bharat, you are giving primacy to India. And in Hindi, when you say Bharat Arthat India, you are giving primacy to Bharat. Now, there is, of course, an international context, but let us not forget, gentlemen, that there is also a domestic context.
Sure.
And in the domestic context, that's a call that the government will have to take as to how the states where Bharat is not usually used, how will they react?
Paulomi Saha is with us.
She's
She's tracking the first plenary that just began. This is the One Earth plenary. Do you want to take us through, Paulomi, the agenda for the first session? Prime Minister Modi said of media walaon ka ho gaya. Thank you very much. So he sent everybody away. Now this is where the business end really begins. What's going on inside the Bharat Mandapam at this moment in that first One Earth session?
Well, this is a session which will last till about 1:30 this afternoon, after which there will be a couple of the bilateral meetings that are slated for today between Prime Minister Modi and, of course, the heads of state from Italy, UK, Germany and Japan. But in this One Earth session, the focus, of course, will be on climate finance and climate action. This is something which India has made one of the focal points of its presidency. The Prime Minister has been speaking about it. We already broke the news that the Global Biofuels Alliance will be, in fact, announced and launched at about 5 p.m. This afternoon, this evening. And we do know that 19 countries and many more organizations have, in fact, confirmed their participation in this. India, of course, has set itself a very ambitious target as far as the biofuels roadmap is concerned. We do know that Russia, Saudi or China will not be a part of this. Russia and Saudi, of course, are part of the OPEC. But India has set some very ambitious goes. In the statement that the Prime Minister, in fact, the thoughts that he put down in a blog right before the start of the G20 Summit, the Prime Minister did say that how we were off track in terms of the sustainable development goals that have been set, and we were nowhere close to achieving all of those goals. So India has set a very ambitious target in terms of, carbon neutrality. We want to go, in terms of carbon neutrality, we want to achieve it by 2070. We are already 20% there in terms of ethanol blending in petroleum. So all of this is obviously part of how Prime Minister Modi has made climate action the focal point of his presidency, and that is, of course, going to be the discussion point in the One Earth session. Rahul.
Okay, Geeta Mohan is with us as well. Geeta, do you want to take our viewers through the Delhi declaration and what you're expecting, what your sources in the Ministry of External Affairs are telling you at this moment, the contours of the Delhi declaration, whether it will take the shape of a joint communique or will it be like an outcome statement with a leader's summary?
Well, I was just speaking to a diplomat just a while ago, Rahul, and he said that they're inching towards a consensus. But yes, this is a diplomat from the West. So he said, but yes, we still do want the Russia-Ukraine reference. And so the matter is indeed stuck on that. On the climate front, he said that there is a forward movement, which means both sides have become a little more flexible on language. But when there's flexibility on language, Rahul, it dilutes intent and intention. So it might be a little watered down when it comes to the climate change or climate aspects of the draft. But that also has to do with what you call dilution, what the West is calling dilution. Certainly for the developing countries, it is climate justice. That if you do not incorporate climate justice and talk about first movers advantage, allowing developing countries to develop, allowing them industrialization, then it would be an unfair and unjust document. So there is forward movement in that. We could see clarity there. But on the Russia-Ukraine war, there still is a huge problem with one side saying that they do want the Russia-Ukraine war reference in the document, and we have Russia and China on the other side opposing. Russia opposing for national reasons, and China calling it purely geopolitical issues should not be a part of an economic forum such as the G20, which tomorrow will be declared G21 in all probability, Rahul.
Mr. Sajjanar, you want to weigh in also on what you believe will be for you a significant achievement in that declaration. What do you believe? Is it enough just to have a basic agreement, a watered down agreement as some call it, or will it require something far more substantive? We've seen one substantive thing happen this morning with the African Union joined G20. That is truly substantive. What more do you believe can be achieved in that document on critical issues like climate finance? Will that become, in a way now, the next big sort of hurdle to cross in the next 24 hours?
You know, I am not very apprehensive as far as these substantive issues are concerned, because we have really been working on all these issues, and I think the positions of most of the countries are reasonably well known. So, you know, there are a couple of ideas, you know, what the Prime Minister in his own commentary, in his own article, he has focused on climate finance, he has focused on transfer of technology. We have been talking about all these aspects from Copenhagen onwards, and I think we know the positions as to how far we can go. So definitely I'm sure there is going to be progress on that we make. There is also, I'm sure the positions are known on the issues related to what is the sort of renewables and the green energy, etc., that the developing countries need to get into. I think those are definitely issues on which we will be able to come to some sort of agreement. As far as the substantive matters are concerned, you know, whether it is India's initiative of the digital public infrastructure, I'm sure there's going to be something on that. Maybe on climate change, when we are talking about the life mission, the lifestyle for environment, we'll have something on that. On the SDGs, I'm sure we'll have something on that. On MDBs, I'm sure we'll have something. So the point I'm making is that by and large on substantive matters across the board, we are going to have a reasonably significant and a rich text. The real stumbling block will be Ukraine, and that is where I think the energies would be